Today in this presentation I would like to present a work in progress titled Solar, which is audiovisual virtual environment for mindfulness meditation that reacts to meditators' EEG data and breathing. It is hard to avoid stress on a daily basis, and it affects all of us, from traffic jams, approaching deadlines, or even presentations. It is hard to avoid it, but if we cannot avoid it, what can we do to deal with it? And one way to deal with stress is mindfulness-based stress reduction, established by John Kabat-Zinn in late 70s. Since then, it proved to reduce stress levels, high blood pressure, anxiety, and depression. And today, mindfulness is not just a matter of tradition, religion, or culture. It's a widely recognized tool for health improvement. And as such, it's been exploited across various fields, and we have many brain-computer interface devices or mobile applications that teach us how to meditate. One thing is that we have tools and we have meditators or novice or beginners in meditation. So we have tool users, but most of the time the experience is lacking. Most of us, even myself, even though I want to meditate more often, I find it frustratingly hard. So the question is, how can we design systems, a virtual environment to support novice meditators in establishing their practice? And that is the question we ask ourselves in designing the system. So some of the design principles, core design principles that we focused at and implemented in our system are thought distancing as a key concept in mindfulness meditation, which is the idea of meditator observing the thoughts but not interfering, not processing the thoughts. As well, we used abstract visual elements in order to, actually because abstract visual elements are less likely to evoke certain negative emotions or reactions. Instead of punishing meditators when they're not meditating well, we chose to actually reward them and make them actually want to meditate even for longer periods of time. As well, we focus on immersion and attention restorative environments. The title comes as an abbreviation of stopping, observing thoughts and letting them go, and then returning to the experience. So this is our first prototype, which is fairly simple. Our virtual environment consisted of only one scene that had two key visual elements: breathing circle, that is this blue circle, and meditation circle. At this point, we didn't connect our virtual environment to sensors, and breathing circle was controlled by meditators' key presses. Meditation circle changed color as a result of progression of time. And in this prototype, we used John Kabat-Zinn's mindfulness meditation audio track instead of soundscape. Since we were just at the beginning of our work, we were wondering how this environment actually enhances meditation, or does it do it at all? So we ran a quick evaluation study during Simon Fraser University open house, where we had 13 participants exposed to our environment individually in a dark, isolated room. And after these individual sessions that lasted for 10 minutes approximately, we asked our participants certain questions. And we were focusing on these working elements because we needed an insight to get to know what to change or what to improve. So the most important conclusions that we got from our participants are that majority of our participants do not meditate very often, and most of them are novice or meditators or the beginners. even though they were able to follow the instructions, which was John Kabat-Zinn mindfulness meditation audio track, they didn't find those instructions meaningful, and I'll come back to that later. In terms of relaxation levels, there is a significant difference between pre-session and post-session relaxation levels. But important thing to mention is that we didn't have control group due to nature of this event. So this is something to look into in the future work and to see whether this relaxation came as a result of our environment or because these participants were just isolated from noise and other people. So as a major conclusions and what to do next, we decided to actually split originally one scene into two scenes, as we recognize this need to instruct our user how to use the environment and how to meditate at the same time. So we have intro as a scene one with the audio instructions that we recorded. And in scene two, we decided to use immersive soundscape from one of the previous projects in our lab called Sonic Cradle. And as well, we decided to improve complexity of visuals and of the silhouette. So here, in the second prototype, the biggest changes, even though the system got a bit more complex, in terms of visuals, we changed the visual quality of silhouette, and now we are moving from allocentric to egocentric point of view in this environment. When the meditation levels that we get from EEG data, when the meditation levels are high, then the silhouette becomes more transparent. We changed as well, we added some other details such as particles, and as well in terms of audio, we added Sonic Cradle soundscape that I'll explain in a bit more details. So in terms of mapping, as I said, EEG data was obtained by emotive epoch device, and we were able to use meditation score. In terms of visuals, if the meditation score is high, the circle would reflect blue color, if as a subtle feedback to meditator on how they are progressing in the session. As well, the silhouette transparency would change, and this is what I mentioned, switching between allocentric to egocentric. So instead of observing the silhouette that was supposed to represent our meditator, we wanted to evoke this effect of actually being part of the scene once the silhouette is completely transparent. Respiratory data, on the other hand, controlled breathing circle that would expand on inhale and would contract on exhale, and that was followed by the burst of particles and triggered certain sounds in the soundscape. So since the video is not working, I can play it after the presentation. So challenges in working with these prototypes were many, and some of them, for now, we are using this environment in controlled setups such as laboratory. Data is a bit noisy, and we have to improve that. It's most likely if people are, if meditators are moving a bit, then the data becomes noisy, and especially EEG data. Then we have personal differences that we have to address, since different people like different things, and some of them expressed that they would like to change colors or even sounds. So in terms of future work, we are definitely working on improving this second prototype, and in order to do that, we need to run a design activity study with more experienced meditators to see what they have, what is their say on our elements and how the whole environment works. At the same time, we would like to involve few meditators at the same time in the same virtual environment and see if more experienced meditator can actually influence less experienced meditator, and to kind of establish certain connection between these two people meditating in the same virtual environment. At the same time, we would like to look into treatment of, into possibilities of using this virtual environment in treatments of mental disorders such as anxiety and depression and autism. And this came from one of our participants who is a teacher that works with kids with autism, who said that he found our environment highly potential for maybe exposing kids with autism to it in order to help them regulate their self-behavior. And that's all. Thank you.